There was a moment, so quiet, so ordinary, that no one realized it was the most dangerous moment in human history. Not the explosion, not the fire, not the screams that would come later, but the moment just before. The moment when humanity discovered it had the power to end itself. The nuclear bomb did not begin as a weapon. It began as an idea, a calculation, a question asked by intelligent minds who believed that understanding nature was always a virtue. And for a long time, they were right. We learned how stars burn, how matter holds together, how energy hides inside the smallest pieces of existence. Knowledge expanded. Equations grew elegant. The universe revealed its secrets willingly. But wisdom did not keep pace. Because wisdom is slow. It hesitates. It asks uncomfortable questions. It worries about consequences long after curiosity has moved on. Knowledge, on the other hand, only asks one thing: can this be done? And when the answer became yes, nothing else seemed to matter. The bomb was built not out of hatred, but confidence. Confidence that intelligence alone was enough. Confidence that responsibility would somehow emerge later. Confidence that control could be maintained forever. This was not evil. It was something far more unsettling. It was faith in our own brilliance. And that faith changed everything. Because once the bomb existed, the world crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. A line where power no longer scaled with morality, where consequences no longer matched intention, where a single decision could erase cities, cultures, futures. From that moment on, war stopped being about victory and started being about restraint. Peace no longer meant understanding. It meant fear. A delicate, trembling balance where survival depended not on wisdom, but on everyone agreeing to do nothing. This is the paradox the bomb introduced. It claims to preserve life by threatening annihilation. It promises peace by holding extinction in reserve. And for decades, it worked. No global war, no final catastrophe. But this did not prove humanity had become wiser. It only proved we were afraid enough. Fear became the foundation of order. Fear became the guarantor of civilization. Fear became the silent language spoken between nations. And beneath it all, the bomb waited. Patient, unforgiving, uninterested in intent. Before the nuclear age, ethics had boundaries. War was brutal, but limited. There were rules, however fragile. Lines that could be crossed, and lines that still held. After the bomb, those lines dissolved. There is no ethical framework that survives total annihilation. No justice system that functions after extinction. No apology that can be offered once everything is gone. The bomb did not just raise the stakes of war. It erased the concept of stakes altogether. Because when everything can be lost, nothing can truly be defended. And so, ethics collapsed under the weight of absolute power. What remained was silence. Every generation born after that moment inherited the same burden. Not guilt, not blame, but responsibility. The responsibility to remain rational forever, to never miscalculate, to never panic, to never allow fear, pride, or anger to override restraint. Human history offers no evidence that we are capable of this indefinitely. And yet, this is what the bomb demands: perfection, without rest, without exception. Civilization continues not because we are virtuous, but because no one has blinked yet. This is not peace. This is a standoff with time itself. The most disturbing truth is not that the bomb exists. It is that it cannot be unmade. Knowledge does not retreat. Ideas do not forget themselves. What has been understood remains understood. And so, humanity lives with a power it cannot safely use and cannot safely remove. This is the responsibility gap. We possess godlike power with human limitations. We can create extinction, but we cannot predict ourselves. We can model physics, but not fear. We can calculate force, but not judgment. There is no tribunal for the end of the world, no lesson learned afterward, no correction made in hindsight. The bomb allows no second attempt. And that is why it is not merely a weapon, it is a mirror. It reflects what humanity values most when given absolute power: control, security, dominance, and beneath them, fear. Fear of losing relevance, fear of vulnerability, fear of each other. The bomb reveals that intelligence alone does not civilize a species. Wisdom does. And wisdom cannot be rushed. We often ask whether the bomb saved lives or destroyed them. This question misses the point. The deeper question is this: what did it turn us into? A civilization that survives by restraint rather than trust. A species that confuses fear with stability. A world where the highest achievement is not progress, but avoidance. We learned how to end the world before learning how to govern ourselves within it. And that imbalance remains unresolved. The bomb still waits, not as a villain, not as a monster, but as a consequence. A consequence of intelligence unaccompanied by wisdom. And until wisdom catches up, if it ever does, humanity lives on borrowed time. If this thought unsettled you, that is not an accident. If it lingered, that is the point. This is Echoes of Knowledge TV, a place where history does not comfort and ideas are allowed to disturb. If you believe knowledge must be questioned, if you think power demands restraint, if you are drawn to the darker truths behind human progress, subscribe. Share this with someone who still believes intelligence is enough. And stay with us, because some ideas, once discovered, can never be put back.